Alright, so this is the first time I'm ever playing this game. I don't know what it's about. I have no clue. I've checked online to see if I can find out some information about it. And basically, from what I saw, it's co-op multiplayer, and it's about killing robots. And robots that have invaded a specific area of Sweden. And exploration game. Looter type slash exploration slash kill robots. Kind of post-apocalyptic world from prior to any current war, an old war, I guess you could say. After this happened, probably based on stories about this game, happened sometime after or during the Cold War, or possibly after the Vietnam War. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it happened before any type of current war, like a Persian Gulf or Russo-Afghan War. Basically, anything slash around the time of Cold War before it happened during that period, or post Russo Cold War, but not after Afghan War. I'm just assuming this is after what happened during World War II, and I'm tying possibly Korean War into that as well. Anything after those periods of Vietnam, Cold War period era stuff. Anything going from Vietnam to Cold War period era stuff. It happened sometime during that time frame in the alternate world type of deal. But yeah, I'm gonna see what this is about and see how it'll play up. Getting some echoing. No, but it's good now. So I just want to see how it plays it. It looks great. It looks perfect, to be honest with you. I went to the settings before I changed up the certain aspects of the game based on field of view. I checked head bobbing though. I want most of everything on, and I'm doing all this to see how we'll play in the game as a random person coming into this game, knowing nothing about this game, and they're basically changing their settings on this game based on prior games that they've played. Like say if you played Dark Souls type game, or you've played Horizon Zero Dawn, or you've played Warframe, or you've played The Division, or you've played World War Z, or Monster Hunter World, or not even that. Let's say you play something more simple like Control, or Control is not real simple, but simpler like Control, or I don't know, even something like Minecraft, or say Witcher, or Witcher 3. Well, basically, typically I go into the game's setup and I see how it plays out based on its settings first before I play a game. So that's the first part of when I view something or I get my personal thoughts into something. Like I'm just voicing my opinion on this game simply as a personal recording to me to see my thoughts and how I believed in it from the beginning of the game to how I believe in it towards the middle and how I believe in it towards the ending. Does it still hold up as a complete game? Is it still enjoyable at the halfway point and towards the end? So, I mean, you get reviews from this game anywhere, but Do the people actually review the game in specific details? Well, most reviewers don't, because their job is to sift through many games, and they don't really sit the time down to actually access the game and check it out in detail. And when they do check it out in detail, their idea of checking it out in detail is going over it over and over again based on the recordings, and go back and forth with the recordings to see at what frames this was happening. Play it, record it, replay it again, play it again, to go over the video as in sections, basically chopping and seeing what works, what doesn't work, or what's interesting and what's not interesting. It's a totally different feeling than actually playing the game through and paying attention to every single thing while you're playing the game through. Most reviewers don't do that, because most reviewers are busy enjoying the game at the moment while they're doing a review, paying attention to things, but at the same time, they typically have a lot of noise around them, and they're typically giving their opinions based on their enjoyment rather than paying attention to actually professional aspects of actually evaluating the game in its complete glory from the very beginning. For instance, this opening screen has very good text to use, very good font text, very bold. The text spacing are good, very nice. The black on the white for the text is very good. The red is perfect for contrast to black on white. You don't get any better than that. If they want to evolve the game further as you pressed a certain button to go into the story of the game, colors can now be developed on the trees and everything, so it goes from fading out from what is black to now more rich experience and things that are presented in color from pure black and white, with certain just hovering over red text just because you need to see specifically. One of the main things when it comes to gaming, or anyone who's a gamer, even if you're not a gamer, you have to understand the human eye view things in color, and the most visually separate colors are completely opposite of each other, black and white. And the perfect segue color towards something that's completely black and white is typically another bold color within the color wheel: red, white, or blue. Red, yellow, blue, or red, green, blue, depending on where you're talking from, a computer, or you're talking from a painting point of view. So you pick any one of those three colors. So for this one, in game, mostly in game standards, towards anything that seems very robotic or mechanical, to complement the type of intensity of black and white, you would pick red, and you will only pick blue if you would say say the background is mostly dense with red towards the black and the fog and everything, and so you would need the blue to kind of contradict it, whereas red is direct dynamic color to blend in with the fire and everything, and as its own standalone thing to separate itself from the black and white. So these texts that are used are very bold, very font-like, kind of average, kind of stuff that you would use on your computer just to type and send a message to someone in a regular Reddit text or standard text. So these accessible texts right here are basic, but they work for the basic introduction to the game, and they work perfectly in a contrast to a black and a white. Now, as towards a font that's needed towards being the actually name or general name for the game, if I were to supersize these small texts such as new game settings, this small text format right here, which looks more like Arial black, separate. I could be wrong. It could be just Kirby separate. It wouldn't work. But if I was to supersize, if these were the actual same text as the title text for the name of the game, Generation Zero, seems more like an impact condense font text or reserve a grunge separate, uh, but it seems more like an impact text format. It works better that way. If the text for the main headline for the game Generation Zero was more wider, it wouldn't work as much as a dense robotic name, and seem less robotic and more like text format like the ones out here, which are more separate. So it's nice to have the main head name for the game more condensed and more bold and look more perfect towards the actual complementary black and white background with the text overlay. Now the miniature stuff like control, adjust, that's not really that important. But it's nice to see that there was a little bit of thought going into that process even before playing the game. Many reviewers don't even pay attention to that stuff and why people do that stuff. And all these things are time consuming from other people. And so they say when picking the right text doesn't take time. And like if you want something to be right the way you want it to be right and done right, everything takes time and effort, and including picking the right color, just for something simple as a title screen towards the game. And if you go into tutorials, hands-on, field of view, I've put it to 51. I've put everything the way it's supposed to be, as well as increase lower the audio from 100 to 50, based on what I learned from other games. Sometimes sounds can be supersized, and people who do the audio checks for testing for the games don't actually consider people who actually play games and speak while the audio is going on in the game. However, I've never played Generation Zero, so I don't know that. So I'm going to make sure everything in the English language is English and subtitles are off because I want it in English. I'm going to proceed forward through the game. Already connected my account, already checked the privacy and accessibilities. I don't know too much about accessibility here, trigger color, red, green, blue, but I'm assuming that this is mesh of colors based on field of vision or dynamic color play. So we'll see. And just green margin, already did that. I want some white in there, but I don't. And as for controls, I'll leave it to its default controls and see how that works. If it becomes a problem, I can switch it up later on. And these are basic standard controls for this game. Once I start playing, if they work, I'll keep it. If they don't work, I'll see how it works. So far, I'm liking it already based on just the introduction of the main screen. It's very simple, very straightforward intro screen, and the robot there is quite simple. From an artist point of view, could have simply had the robot more lighting from the moon on the robot, since the moon is more on the back of the robot. But it's a minor thing. Decreasing the actually lighting on the robot to make it look like it's more in the dark is kind of good, and I actually like it. It makes it look more ominous rather than give it more lighting on the robot to say, oh, it's a robot, obviously. And more darkness on the robot makes it look more ominous and more fluid. So it's kind of good. It's okay. Not the greatest looking intro, and the robot's not moving or anything, but whether it's actually moving from its main screen or it's not the point. What it was trying to do, that's the point. So that's good. So now I'll start the game. I'm not going to go to credits of the live team. I'm not going to evaluate that. I'm just going to play the game based on everything I already have the setup and how everything I want. I could choose now the character I want. I'll choose male, very standard looking guy, nothing special. Can I spin the character? Yes. The lighting on top of the character that goes down from the top of the character onto the character from head to toe. Seeing is good. Lots of blue, but the blue is more based on the interaction of the light, plain old light matching with the color of the hair and the shirt. So not worrying about the light shining down from the top onto them. The face and the color and the design of the clothing basically looks standard, decent. Um, the rendering of the clothes seems okay for the type of engine and technology used to make this game. It's very standard, okay. But we don't need to look super great and complicated or anything, because a helicopter was passing by. Because that's not this type of game. This game is based on exploration, not so much on the prettiness of the character model designs. But some effort went into this. You can see, not so much into the hair. As you can see, the hair looks very meshed together, like he has a whole lot of grease in his hair. So there's not a lot of attention to detail when it comes to the hair. When it comes to the clothes, that's okay. When it comes to the small little things like the dog tags on his neck, that's good too. The shirt is good too, and the shadows are also good based on moving the characters around. However, since the character cannot actually move, he only moves like some motions. You can't really see the shadows moving that much. You can only see his face moves, and now the character's moving after I let go. You don't see the shadows moving that much, you just see them moving a little. So you can't really tell 100% what's going on. So if I keep the character this way, don't move my controls, move back and forth, you see some of it move off the left hand onto the clothes. So attention to detail with that. That's pretty good. I like that. The skin is very, very pasty in here. It looks very pasty. But like I said, based on technology used for this, their focus probably wasn't even that much within the character. Unless I could zoom in and see the character for myself. So, male. Let's see how many I have. Not too much. I have A to J, but that's fine. I'll keep the first guy. Skin tone. A or B skin tone. Alright. It's not that great. Alright, so based on this, the male, female, that's okay. I don't mind. This when you go into the second one. A to J, I guess that's okay too. So the first one is good, second one's good, third one's garbage. If someone was to evaluate this game and say, is this good or is it not good? So first thing, male, female. Obviously, you can only be male or female. You can't have children in here. Not that type of game. So male, female, but character. You can select up to from A to J character. So that's pretty fair and pretty decent for this type of game. Skin tone is what's garbage here. Complete trash. I only have 2 skin tone types. Don't understand that. So from where I stand with the beginning of this game so far, an introduction, the font, the style, the lighting of the game, everything's from the game so far, as well as me adjusting my contrast, adjusting the distance and range, adjusting the color and sound. I would say I already give this game a point, a full point for those things prior to this screen. And I would give this part a full point if I'm finished with this, but this one is like a -1 if you only have 2 skin tones. Starting outfit, military rebel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7. That's good too. That's perfect. Some games don't even give you more than 1 or 2. So that's good. Like Tom Cruise here. like splatterpunk. Someone from 80s movie. Punk 80s movie. Dude from the 90s. 90s style clothing. Well, 90s, early 2000s clothing. Boy helping his father farm that ranch. That's what this one is. The jock, obviously. Always the jock. Gotta be the popular guy wearing school stuff. Yeah. Too much. This whole damn game is a trope. That's good. For these type of games, you want a little trophy. Okay, I'm not even sure if they were going for trope. The hell is this? Rambo mixed with Tom Cruise, mixed with Indiana Jones, mixed with. This is all types of mixtures right here. Mixed with 80s band. This is like Rambo meets 80s band meets Tom Cruise meets now generation type jeans meets. I don't know what this is like all generations mixed into one. I'm gonna actually go with the military. But he's so boring and so standard, but who cares? I mean, can't judge the classics. It's okay. Style. So the only one that's bad here so far, based on my personal thoughts, was the game. Skin tone. Everything is good so far. It's quite hilarious, the outfits, to be honest with you. Very hilarious. Style. Style 1, Style 2. Okay, so based on what I'm seeing here, I already assume, and this is just an assumption, that I'm gonna get more skin tones and I'm gonna get more styles. Because there's no way they could just give you 2. This makes no damn sense. They give you 6 or 7 of these, but they only give you 2 of these. So this has to be a game that will give you more skin tones and more styles as you progress through the game and succeed and beat it and so on. So for that, I'm still reserving. And I'm on adventure mode. I'm going to play the game. I'm going to do some explorations. I'll leave the difficulty scaling on. So I already gave the game a 1 for the intro of the game, which is the title of the game. Nice font, nice everything, and how it meshes with the black and white background. How I don't see it like deep motions within the game itself. So I gave it 1 for that. I gave it like almost a 1 for the entire the model design of the character, based on the lighting effects that's attached to the character, as well as lighting from the top onto the character, and the design and rendering of the character. I would have given it a full 1 if the hair didn't look so pasty and skin didn't look pasty. The clothes is fine. Lighting on the character is fine as well as when the hand moves, and like shadows mesh with the character. That's good as well. So that's fine. The clothing and the accessories are fine. It's just that the hair and the skin of the characters is very low res, but that based on the game itself, I'm pretty sure they weren't going for like a detailed character design. So that's a minor gripe. So I'm now at a 1.5, but now I went on to this screen, and half of everything on the screen is good, the other half is stupid. So now I'm at a 2. So this game is already at a 2 for me right now. So I'm good. I'll go with this military outfit. Start the game. And that was just at the beginning of the game. They give you a little taste of how good the game is at the beginning. If you like it, you need more customization. So I'm already at a 2 right now based on what I see. I ain't reading this. I already read this online from what people read about it. Yeah, after World War II, just like I thought. Yeah, Sweden knew. Now what I don't know is about the detailed story of this game. I only know some base synopsis based on what others have stated with regards to this game. Text still looks good. White on black looks good. Text spacing is good. Doesn't hurt the eyes. Alright. Now, I was told you would typically just wake up after something happens. There's no like intro movie or no nothing. No like prior cutscene. You're just here. You just move around. That's the start of the game. So I'm gonna probably cut my mic for the moment right now. No. Use your little compass at the top, north, south. There's a house right in front of you. This is south, southeast. This is east. This is north, northeast, northwest, west. Alright, so it's like I have a mini compass in my hand, but I see it right on top of my head. So right now I'm pointing towards south, kind of between south and southwest. And break of dawn, search the house for anything of use. So it's kind of dark right now. The lighting of the game is kind of dark. So I'll probably go into the line of the game and change up the lighting. See how that works. Field of view, I could probably now change field of view. See, that's nice, very nice. Keep field of view maybe to sometimes I might want to see something over the hill, but not too much. I'll keep it at 60. That's fine. That's fine. Record sound, that's fine. Off. Action mode. All show equipment. Well, keep that there. So you got audio and brightness. Audio. Okay, so this is kind of weird. They don't seem to have the brightness, but you can decrease and increase the color based on type of color intensity you want. I've never played a game where you couldn't decrease brightness. Controls, you have accessibility, you have dynamic or static, maybe that's it. No, lighting didn't change that much at all. So no lighting. Alright, so that's kind of like a huge buzzkill right there for me. The inability to decrease the lighting within the game itself. That's not good. Increase the music, increase the effects of the music, the dialogue and text. Increase tutorial hints, field view, turn on off ID, unit metric imperial. Yeah, I've never played a game where I couldn't increase the brightness at the beginning of the game, or even during the process of playing the game. I've never played a game where you can increase the crosshairs, the colors of the crosshairs before. But I don't think that's much of a problem anyway, because I don't never really care that much about color. What I do care about is to increase the brightness of the game. So to me, from where I stand, that's already a huge buzzkill. So that's, I was at 2, but now I'm at more at like, because it's very important to have lighting in your game so you can actually see what you're doing. You won't have to go towards your own personal lighting for your monitor to increase the brightness of the game. Like what I'm doing right now, I'm increasing the brightness of my monitor to view what's going on in the game. And doing that has more blue in it, so now I gotta remove some of the blue. Alright, guess that'll work. But yes, still not that great, man. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. To not have increased brightness. And that's kind of incredibly fucking stupid. I mean, really? I mean, okay. Alright, so this is adventure mode, and I will be searching. So if I'm gonna cut my mic from this point on forth, it was going up good, but that was like a really dumb thing to do. Not allowing people to increase the atmosphere and brightness within the game, not being able to increase the gamma. I mean, there's nothing that says you can increase the gamma at the beginning of the game. There's no portion here. I'll have to look up in more detail with regards to that. Maybe a specific reason why they didn't want people to increase gamma of the game. Maybe it ruins the game. If that's the case, they didn't do their homework that well. Of course, the people playing the game on controls or on PC and stuff. I think that's a huge turn off right there. The lighting of the game is increased when the morning comes up. At night it looks dark. You can increase the brightness so you can see better in the dark. If that's an aesthetic that we're going for, it kind of sucks because you will always be running into the wall. It's not like you have a flashlight or something. Maybe they'll give you a flashlight later on. So this is the map. Inventory skills, log, profile, emotes, team, challenges, assignments. That's that. This looks okay. All this looks okay. However, there's nothing that shows that you could increase your lighting brightness of your game. This is just for profile. Emotes. You're within your team, this is your stats. You can see your team because there's nobody else. Challenges. No challenges. Assignments, there's none. So on this yeah, so you press the start button, gives you into this screen, and press the center pad, gives you into this screen. Now I'm gonna press up on my control pad, down on my control pad, left, right. No, can't do anything. Move around to look around. That works good. Back and forth. That works good. Fine. Running is good. Walking. Running. Gear wheel. You could do emotes and stuff. Crouch and do different emotes by holding R1 and then selecting it. I'm not gonna do that. I mean L1. This is L1 emotes or directions or commands. Square doesn't do anything. Triangle doesn't do anything. However, crouch, yeah. Crouch is square by default. I mean, crouch is circle by default. Triangle, square, and X. X does jump. So, the only thing I could do right now is crouch and X. And use emotes. Nothing else works except the map. I'm pressing Ctrl D. And going to see what I have in inventory, which I don't have. Skill charts, logs, basically tell me how long I've been playing, so and personal profile, what I'm wearing, team I'm with, challenges, so on and so forth. And of course, the start button to press for multiplayer or check settings. But there's no lighting, no increased brightness, no gamma. That's very stupid. It's full 5 points off for me. I think that's dumb. So far the game's starting off good, but could turn out real bad. Can I do like a deep crouch? Can I go prone? I can go prone. Good. Alright, so I could jump up. Stand up, I crouch. And if I hold down, I could go prone. That's good. So let's stay in the crouch position. Alright, there's no punch mechanics or anything yet. Just crouch and jump and run. There is interaction. The house. But before I go into the house, I'll check the surroundings. I mean, nobody really goes into an empty house without checking their surroundings first. See who's in the house. It's dangerous. Explosive. Not very good, but this is it's a barbecue. No, it's a gas. Alright, we'll go in the open area, because I have to. I know these are robots in this game, so they don't really give a damn about. They're not vampires, so they'll come out at any time, morning, noon, or night. They see you. Check the complete perimeter. Can I jump over the fence? Yes. Alright. Can I zoom in? Okay, so there's no zoom in to like to concentrate on actually seeing at a specific location. By zooming in, by like staring at something, and then it zooms in on it. To focus in, there's no like focus in mechanics. That's fine. I like the idea to increase field of view though. Increase and decrease field of view. So you can see a broader area. Now I'm not worried that any machines will come after me yet, because I didn't follow the commands of the game. Story mode, or adventure mode. If my guess is right, it's going to follow something very mechanical, and then spawn certain things afterwards, in regards to the story, which gives me time enough to search other places other than the house. And again, if this is not the way this game plays out totally differently. Maybe robots spawn regardless whether you go in that house or not. Lockpick. Very good. Okay, so buckshots. 12 buckshot rounds. Other than nothing. Lockpick here, pen. Buckshots and lockpick here, pen. Miscellaneous or all, however you want to call it. Now see, this is the one thing, another thing I don't like about this game. The whole setup is good. Like, this whole inventory, this whole sheet right here, going from map to inventory, skills, this is good. Sliding back and forth. You interact with each one of them. And then using L2 and R2 to go back and forth. What I don't like that's not good is that more recent, more popular games, when you press the R2, it will loop back to the beginning where L2 is. So if you keep pressing R2 and keep pressing R2, it would generally loop back towards where equipment is. But this game, it doesn't do that. It just has a begin and has an end. And you have to force yourself to go all the way back rather than just loop back to the beginning rather than go all the way back. So that's not that great. So I'll take like a half of one point from that. So now I'm at a like what 1.4 in regards to this game. I mean, however, I do like the map setups for this. This is a nice map. You could zoom in and zoom out of the map. So I'll give the whole map thing a decent, like when you go on, scroll over a specific area or house or something, a safe house. They show you the yards, the distance, and the name of it. And show you where you are. Very obvious that that's you. Or even if it's not obvious, you want to find where you are. Scroll on it, it tells you where you are and who you are. Not to mention it pulsates to show that it is you. So it doesn't have color to it. It would have been great if they add color to it, but it doesn't really matter since it's pulsating to show where you are and has like a directional arrow attached to it. Show that this is a person This is where you are. When you hit on each one of these places, it tells you the yards that from where you are, 41.54 yards, and this one 130.68 yards, and this one 34.31 yards. So this is a fairly decent map. Have the contours, ridges of lower plane areas to more contour areas, surroundings, showing that the water levels around here, increased water levels here, higher and higher. It's like these are the hill areas. The highest areas are the hills. Go lower in the area here, and there. Each contour areas. The smallest contours are the one highest areas, lowest contours. So that's fair and that's good. Because then you will automatically know that if you're running on your map and you want to go somewhere, you want to go around an area or through an area, the contour will show you won't be able to do it because this represents a hill unless there's a pathway through the hill or a way to climb around the hill. But it's like a fairly decent map you would get in like your social studies class or something. So this is a very, very basic kind of old school type map. I decided to make interactive. So it's not great, but it's well done. Very old school looking map, but it's well done. Icon, like zoom in and spin around. Is good as well. Like that. It's nice. The color they decided to choose for the map rather than choose the dark atmosphere represent surrounding waters, or they could have easily made the map completely black. I like the fact that they used a very, very natural, an actual map, like look like an actual map that you would read in your social studies class with surrounding waters and stuff. It's very plain, very kind of boring. But I think the point of that is that it's not supposed to look fancy. It's supposed to look like a map, just a map. And the interactive sections on the map is simple to take you from place to place. It's not supposed to be fancy, so that's good. So I give that like that's decent to me. I mean it's not great, but it's decent. So I went down to 1.4. Now I'm at a 1.5 again. Inventory management looked good, even though the R2 and L2 you can't loop them so they connect, but everything looks fine. That looks good. The fact that the color changes for the main the heading, each heading the color change to tell you that this is where you are rather than have a single color to represent a single heading. Like skills represent a certain color, and have background designs for each color type skill. Support has its own color type. Combat has its own color type. Survival has its own color type. Tech has its own color types. And I'm assuming once those color types represent when you find objects around in the world, they're going to have those color types. So as an indicator, those color types for your combat, for your support are simply representative. So you could see, well, I need to fix something, so I need to look for purples. I need to find more medics, so I need to look for greens. I need to get more machine parts, so I need to find things that are blue. And I need weapons, like so, and weapons represent red, or bullets represent things that are red. So that's good. I give that another point there. That's a nice little inclusion there, rather than having all one color and then when you go into missions you just scroll over certain things and it says, hey, this is this. Like it would have been easier if you colored identified them to represent what they are. So I give that a full point right there. So now I'm at a 1.6. Now this is basically finding any game, so I'm not interested in that. I already know what this is about. This is just a recording of your activities, so it's not a big deal. It's for your head, what you put on, what you wear. I'm pretty sure it'll have stats regards to it. Or maybe this is just apparel to make you look fancy and nice as an extra additive. And under inventory, once you have equipment and stuff, this is what matters the most. And profile, this is just to make you look fancy. So I guess in the game they could have just given you this stuff, and as you find it along the way, find it in a box or in a closet or something, take clothes out, put them on while you're playing the game. That would have been great. Or maybe that is what's going to happen later on. So to be determined on the profile. Emotes seem to be good. I'm pretty sure when you unlock more stuff, they'll give you more emotes. It's decent. So within the emotes, and yeah, I would say the emotes are good. The emotes work. And they work fine, and they look good. They look well designed, very standard, go up and down. I mean, if you had them all vertical to each other, like everyone's vertical on top of each other, might be a pain in the ass to have to scroll down to the emote that you want to find, rather than have them all horizontal to each other, and then link them up horizontally, and then scroll down vertically. But if the emotes are going to be connected to each other in a horizontal motion in this vertical thing right here, then that should be fine, as long as they don't extremely go all the way down. Like, it becomes extremely long that you have to, my god, how long is it going to take me to get to my emote? So if the emotes aren't too long in this vertical setup, it should be fine. So right now that's okay. The emote wheel is also okay. That's good too. I'm still at a 1.6. It's to be determined on the emote wheel. Team setup to be determined as well. Don't have any teams to roll with, so I can't give a proper definition based on that. Can't do challenges either. Don't know anything too much about that as well. And assignments, I can't do assignments as well. But I like the fact that every time you scroll over from one to the next, it changes colors. So once I can assume that once it pops up, on, like say you're out on a mission doing something, and then an assignment pops up or it's on the boards, or it just shows you, like, okay, orange represents assignment, gray represents challenges, team represents green, so on and so forth. Now based on this, it says, break of dawn, search the house for anything of use. So if I was to go into here, log will fall under, see, it's red, and it shows it's part of the log of your daily activity based on the stat of the main storyline of the game, which is main story, break of dawn, red color, shows you exactly what you have to do and what each represent. Now something like profile pops up on the main screen while you're playing the game. It's yellow in color, and like let's say it's above the break of dawn, you automatically know you got something new for your profile character, so a new hat or something. So I like the fact that he's using color as a good indication to let you know where certain things are and what you need for right now. At the moment, the only thing I care about is most things are colored in red and green. Medic supply stuff and guns and ammo. Not so much on tech. I need mostly red stuff. So, and this red seems to be a more deep, darker red, so it won't be like this color red. This is a bright red to represent your log, to tell you exactly what it is. But when it comes to your inventory or skills, the color red in this inventory skill seems to be a gradient fill red. So it seems to be a combination of both red and black at the same time. Like all of them represent that same gradient fill with some lighting on it. So there's black at the bottom and gradient fill on purple at the top. Black at the bottom, gradient fill green at the top, black at the bottom, and um bluish at the top, or in this case verdant, or verdana, or viridian, if you, well, sort of viridian. Yeah, it seems very viridian. I saw it's black at the bottom, viridian, black at the bottom, very oak, black at the bottom, very purple or grape, black at the bottom, very uh, bloodish red or deep rose red, and objective colors are typically just standard pure bright red. Good. That's good. And what also pops up is when you... Okay, I ran this way. Let me run this way. It's in this house. I ran to here, and then Yevik weapons, collectibles. It actually says it. Let me try that again. Yevik 1, collectibles 3. Go on to my map. Okay, so I have to go back there in order to get a collectible. So was I pointing towards the house? It just popped up. Alright, so within this little town area, there's 1 weapon and 3 collectibles. Bizarre. Alright, so weapons 0, 1, but they're 1 and 3. Alright, so I'll check. I'll go back here to the safe house. What else I can find? Well, I found this, buckshots, and I found this. So, neither of them are weapons. So I guess I consider it 2 of the 3 collectible, or collection items to collect. Alright, so I'll just cut my mic right now and I'll just start to explore. Anything important, I'll just bring it up. Oh, it looked like, oh, okay, so there is a stamina bar. Alright, didn't notice that before. You see, that's worth noting. I don't know if this is a bug or this is intentional, but I can move through the water once I'm in the water. I can move forward, but I can move out of the water slowly. Can't move forward in the water. I could jump forward in the water. Get deep. Okay, so I just learned something. Like, you're not allowed to swim in the game. If you were, would be swimming. So this is kind of silly. If they wanted you not to swim in the game, they wouldn't be able to. You won't be able to jump when it comes to the water at all. Apparently, you can jump when it comes to the water, but once you go deep under the water, you're automatically teleported. Automatically teleported back to where you were. Could have easily blocked off the water and said you can't go any further. Stop. Well, in some ways it does show you, but the oddity of the game is that if you jump and you move forward while you jump, you can go deeper into the water. It could have easily made you not jump and move forward at all. Could have just removed that completely. Alright, so this is equipment. Gas tank. The purpose of this. The pressed gas tank containing explosive material will cause high level of damage to the surroundings. And so how do I equip this? Those are all emotes. Oh shit. Pick it up, pick it up. Alright, so can I switch? Alright, so equipped it as this. And equipped as that. I hope it's not like one of those games where you have to constantly go into the menu to unequip and equip stuff. There's gotta be a way to equip it without going into your gear wheels. I mean, should be a gear wheel where you could equip stuff and de-equip stuff. Kinda suck to always go in your menu to get something. You press on something and there are slots. You could decide to put in gear slot 1, 2, 3, or 4. If I put in gear slot 4, and this is in gear slot lockpick, let's see. locker can't go in, gear slot. Let's see about the buckshots. That can't go in gear slot either. But this could go in the gear slot. Weird. So this is for putting it down. And then I guess the enemy go over it, and then I just shoot it, or I just shoot it while the enemy runs over it. The whole point of actually going into your menu and then deselecting it and selecting it's kind of dumb. So everything's good so far, but the whole deselecting and selecting things from menus is kind of dumb. The whole bug with the water, not that much of a gripe. I really don't care much for it. Not a big deal whatsoever at all. It's just weird. But the whole menu thing with the gears going in the menu, coming out of the menu, that's not good. So I was like 1.7. Went up to about 1.7. 1.8, 1.7. Yeah, it was about at 1.7. So now it just went back down to 1.6 again. Like every time I find something good, I find something that's not good. Interaction with the doors are good. Opening it very easily, you don't have to struggle. Based on distance, we're going towards the interaction of the door. And opening and closing it, that's good. It's going to come in handy when I fight monsters or robots. Close quick. If I go now, and I close it now, not locked in here. I can't come in. It's good to go back out. It's good. So our interaction with objects, whether they're weapons or anything, flows fluidly. It's decent. I really don't like the fact that the lighting is part of the shitty part of the game. You can't increase the gamma. It's really freaking stupid. So I'm where was I? I was at 1.7, then I went back to 1.6. I got 2 items here. I won't cross the road or anything, but I will crouch down to see if there's any robots. Nothing on the road so far. Nothing on the other side so far. It is getting night and there's low visibility. I want to see if I could get to those other objects in the water. I doubt I'll be able to do it. In fact, I won't even try. I'll just reset me back to my original position if I go too deep into the water. Jesus. That much life from jumping off of a rock. Look how high this rock is. This rock is almost as tall as me. I would say that if I stand right here next to the rock, my head level is right about here. Alright, so if my head level is right about here, I am my secondary height, if I could double my height, would be, yeah, this thing is a little bit, almost like a little bit taller than 2 sides of myself. Alright, if I was to jump down from top of something. That top of that something will be the height of myself, which will be my height right here. And I jump down from my height right here, down here. And that will be fine. I will be just fine. So you're telling me if I jump down from double my height, I'll do more than 10% damage from this type of rock? No way. I've jumped on off tall boulders before, and the most I feel like a small little sting in my leg, spring, but not enough that I couldn't walk, not enough that it does me damage that permanent, like this, what it's saying right here. This is not even a big rock. This is a very small rock. Damage accumulation within this game seems to be off at the beginning. Doesn't seem to be logical. Either that or they purposely made your character at the beginning of the game a weakling. I mean, look how small that rock is. Just jumping off that rock and you injure your leg. Not even high. Like if I would jump off here and you injure your leg, that would be something different. Now, the damage in this game is too heavy for small things. But that could only mean one thing, that this main character is completely weakling. And even jumping off the small things hurt him. Or they didn't put the game the right way. Can I pick up the shovel? No. I like the fact that you close the doors behind you. I heard something. Why keeps telling me this? 0. Collectibles. 0, 3, 1. Alright, so what I have aren't collectibles. Let me see that again. Weapons, 1 weapon, and 3 collectibles here. Alright, so all these accessories I have aren't considered collectibles. They're part of my weapons arsenal. They're not really collectibles, like items to collect as part of the story. It's just part of mechanics. If that's the truth, then a damn weapon isn't a collectible. It's a weapon to use. Maybe I can jump on top of the house. Can I jump on the houses? Like the fact that there's different varying weather conditions. Some days it's raining, some days it's nice and sunny, some days it's just foggy. Alright, so you can't jump on top. Or maybe you can, it's just that you have to be at the proper angle. Or at the right place to do it. See, I can't do it from there. Probably won't be able to do it from here either. Alright, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I like that from weather conditions. Sometimes it rains heavy, sometimes it rains soft, sometimes it rains start and then stops and start again. I like that. Include that little aspect. And they could have simply put in two different or four or five different rain conditions or weather conditions. Um, snow, um, rain, fog, some gust of wind, and or a lot of dust. But they decided to do a little bit more than the normal. Decided to make the rain fluctuate rather than just keep pouring. Sometimes it goes, sometimes it stops. Sometimes it's a little light and heavy. I'm not going into the house until I check this area thoroughly. Because I know the moment I go into the house, the story will initiate. And all of a sudden, the robots are going to start popping up. But I could be wrong. I like that. I like that. I like the sound of I like the sound of the rain on the windshields and on top of the car. True to life sound of vehicle, rain on the vehicle. Sucks that I can't get in the car. Maybe I can. Nope, can't. So I can't lock myself inside of the vehicle. I'm attacked by robots. And this is steel. And why would I need this? Just to be determined. Lots of steel. Alright, I'm assuming this is the currency of the land where it's needed to build weapons, strong weapons. To fortify something. Transfer. Alright, transfer. Let's see. Crafting resources, yes. Weight. 3.276. But this is not one of those things that it'll weigh me down so I can't move fast. Right? It is that is interesting if that's the case. Not sure if it will be helpful, but it would be interesting. I like the fact that when it's raining, the rain hits the ground. The floor was more damp, so like If it's made out of stone, it looks damp. That's accurate. But if it's made out of something like marble, it looks more shiny. It's also accurate. You know, when it's stone, not so much. Even when the rain is on the doors, when the doors makes the door look shiny, because that's what rain will do on a door, lighting shining on the door. So far I see no robots. And that's mainly because that's right. Mainly because I probably didn't investigate the house like I was supposed to yet. I need a gun, and probably the gun is probably in the house. I'm supposed to investigate. I don't want to go too far from this little town right now. Next thing you know, a robot pops up. I have a strong feeling it won't. Cop car. Yeah, I have a strange feeling I'm not supposed to be doing any of this. I'm supposed to go in that house, proceed with the story. But I think it's best that I prepare myself before anything happens. When the door is open up. There's no point in opening this up if I'm not be able to find anything in here. robot. Yeah, so I'm gonna pick up this item from inside this house now, and probably cut this video short. This first section of Generation Z, simply an evaluation of the game. So based on inventory management, items to select, that's good. However, going back in and out to select and deselect the weapon, remove it back into menu is not good. So I still stand at the 1.7. Maybe I'll give it a 1.8. Decent, you know. I didn't say anything about the actually design of everything yet. Basically the organic as well as the inorganic stuff, and the architecture of the actual game, which is the building of houses. It's good. The color use is good. Paint on the wall. A little debris and cracks and smudges on the wall are good and accurate to true life how smudges on the wall are. If a house, especially if it's raining or you have different weather conditions, the paint on the house will start to crack or start to wear away or smudge, depending on how intense the weather is. And stains will eventually leak in time from the top going to the bottom. So they either wear off, wither, or they start to leak onto other colors. So as standard, this is more like a well-painted house with minor weather conditions to it. The underroof of the house, which is this color right here, it doesn't seem to make much sense towards the outside area of the house. It's hardly any rain will come on the underroof of a house, unless the underroof of this house was not painted, but the outside roof of the house was painted, and this is the standard color of the underroof of the house. So that's good. Yeah, everything's fine. Can't climb ladders. Lighting from the sun beating down. Can't see the sun is kind of there. Very, very accurate. The whole sun thing is very accurate. Showing at the angle based on this. On the floor. Shadows creaking in, passing through here, knocking down to here. Showing that the sun went through this pole right here, and the light from there showing through there, while the light from the sun onto the pole shown right here. Very, very attention to detail with regards to that. Details of plants, walking over them, bumping into them. They're moving once you bump into them, rather than being static. It's good. So as far as textures go, textures are good, not perfect, but they're very good. So I give it a point for that, for the textures alone. So now I'm at an actual 1.8, a serious 1.8. And then objects, actually you can interact with objects and they move based on you pushing on them or stepping over them. I give that some reality, as well as the wind blowing, and then based on the atmosphere and it moves. I give that another 1.9 now. So I'm almost back up at a 2. I took like a full 5 points off for color for not being able to raise the gamma alone, because that's incredibly stupid. If you can't see anything, the game is pretty much piss you off. So now I'm slowly creeping back up to that 2. Water looks like water. Textures and everything look fine. Not 100% perfect, well, 100% perfect. It looks fine. But when you're moving, like you see, I'm moving back and forth, and you see a shadow move back and forth as I'm moving. It's basically showing, I guess you could say, it's showing the distance where I am based on the sun closing in. It gets brighter as I get closer in, darker as I move further out. And also is a nice job doing nice job with regards to the sun. Is that the floor will be brighter if the sun is showing more and there are less clouds in the way of the sun. Saying sun can show more, floor lights up more. But if deeper clouds interrupt where the sun is shining, it becomes darker. So accuracy there is very good. And the movement of clouds and everything, it's very slow. I mean, it picks up real fast within the game because obviously the game is not reality. So you have to make the atmosphere change pretty fast. But that's decent. That's very good. So now I'm back up at a 2, with simply attention to detail with regards to the sun shining and interruptions of clouds on the sun to block out the light. They could have simply had the clouds go over the sun, and then it'll still be bright light simply because it's morning, rather than actually do attention to detail and pay attention to the actually atmosphere as it change. I see that little line that keeps coming close to me every time I back up or something. And you see the lines going now as they close in. The line would then show there it's gone. Now it's there. That line is clearly strange. I'm trying to see what does that line represent. That represents something. This tree. That's what it is. It's the tree. Yeah, it's a tall tree. See, the sun is shining. It doesn't. I can't see it. As soon as I'm over it or I'm nearing it, I can see it because it's in this area and the sunlight there. So it's the tree. It's the damn tree. That's how much detail you pay attention. You'd be like, oh wait a minute, but that can't be the tree because there's one over here too. But no, there's a tree over here too, so it's 2 of them. So that's very good attention to detail. So now I'm back up at a 2. That's very good. And the texture on the gloves that the guy is using looks like a leather gloves, but it also looks like a plastic leather gloves. That's good. The gun is good. Down the sights. So if I'm aiming towards where my sights are, say I aim towards that circular light, downside pack, put it right in the center. Almost there. Boom. Like it's, if I put it dead center, it's off by a small percentage. It's more like it's not completely dead center, but it's off. And you see, it goes a little bit towards the right. But then all of a sudden, my sights go towards the right. So if I keep my sights directly dead center, and I don't move my weapon, I put it there, aim it. Still the same, still at the center. It's almost near it. Seems like my aiming down sight is a little off. Not too much off, but it's a little off. It's not direct center towards where I'm actually looking with sight. With my icon. So that's it's a little annoying. Like if I aim directly towards here, better it goes directly on the line. See, I'm aiming directly towards the center between both lines, but this goes towards the line right here, directly on this line, whereas this is aimed more towards the center, and this aims directly to a little bit to the left, lower, so it doesn't go exactly where my eyes focus on. So that's kind of off. Okay, so I got one of the collectibles. The three, yeah. Alright, so let me go back and see what it tells me. There's an actual weapon here. Weapon collectible here. A collectible weapon, not a weapon. Let me see this collectible. Alright, this wouldn't be collectible, wouldn't be here, or maybe it would. No, it wouldn't be here. Collectibles would probably be in. Unpainted garden gnome. This gnome is desperate in need of a paint job. On the plus side, his life is still a blank slate. I don't know if that's a hint towards something, foreshadowing of events to come. But we'll see. Alright, so I guess gnomes are the collectible items. Gnomes, mixtapes, music, basically mixtapes, music, probably, or documents, world maps, boss blueprints. There's only one boss blueprint? It's weird. Sign of resistance. Alright, so if I find a sign of our resistance, that means people in this area are part of our resistance. Mixtape. Or if I find a mixtape that has something, a document to do with what's going on. Because basically a mixtape was, mixtapes are basically old school stuff to say that you could record things on. And you call mixtape, or you could mix up whatever it is that you're recording on the tape itself. And you could log it in details as you hit the record button. It follow only one singular path within that tape as it's recording. So if you don't take off the tape, it will continue to record, and then you'll get into your next conversation, or it'll just keep going. And then you rewind it back to the area where it ended, and then you have to record on that specific spot where it ended, and then it'll keep going and going until you stop it at that other section, and then keep playing it, and then stop it again at that other section and play it again. But it's all on one singular loop tape. The word mixed with regards to it is simply that you have more than one content on that single loop tape. Like, it's very monochrome and very linear in path, but there are more than one conversation in a single loop tape. That's what mixtape usually are. It's a mixture of different contents on one loop tape. It's not like a mixture of different tapes combined into onto one type of tape, or a mixture of different documents onto one type of tape. It's basically the same person stating the same thing, or stating different things on different days. It's kind of like a journal. Mixtapes are kind of like journals, And anytime you stop saying something with regards to the journal of that day, you just stop it and you start it again. It's like a video recording. I don't know why back in the days they call them mixtapes, but I guess, I mean, it makes sense. You could mix what you're writing or what you're recording. Or it's not really mixing, it's just more like continuing, but you get the idea. I don't know what the hell this is. I got a gnome, but I don't know what this is. Like a horse. What does that do? I don't know. Alright, so there's 3 of them. I want to get everything, so I'm going to get everything. Well, speaking of which, these are usually, what color are these? So collectibles are also red. Alright. So anything red in color. I mean, the object isn't going to be red in color, but the word on top of it will be red in color. Close the door. There's nothing else in here. So I got 1 gnome. I must have missed something back here. Must have. Because it's basically saying this entire area on this map is Jorvik. And there are 3 collectibles in Jorvik and 1 collectible weapon. Or weapons, or 1 collectible weapon. So I got 1 of the 3 collectibles, and I got 1 weapon to collect. The weapon in my hand is not a collectible, it's just a regular weapon. So I get it now. I don't know why you would need a weapon as a collectible. But, it's whatever, I guess. You're not going to use a weapon, why have it as a decoration? Unless it's a toy gun. Or a type of, prank weapon. It may come in handy and has important information on it. Alright, I'm going to consider this vicinity right here Jorvik. This entire vicinity will be considered Jorvik. So I'm going to go past the safe house, just a little past the safe house. See if I find anything else. Now I know there's nothing over here, and if I jump in the water, I'll automatically drown. And then it will reset me back to land. Or I don't even drown, I just disappear and then reappear. But this is just going to be a brief video, maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours most, to see how the game functions, how it flows, based on the atmosphere. Like if you notice his clothes is getting wet as well, yeah, I like that too. It's minor gripes with regards to this game. Everything else functions far better than they are unfunctionable, or they don't work at all. And even when it doesn't make sense, it's not that big a deal that it will take away from the overall game itself as something that's bad, or that weakens the actually overall play of the game. So I noticed something. I noticed two other collectibles and one collectible gun. And I know one of them is probably in the house. But I also know that one is not in the house at all. What the hell? Alright, so what I'll do is I'll cut my mic, and once I find those collectibles, I'll call it a day on this game. I just wanted to see what this is about and give a proper evaluation of my point of view with regards to this game as a first timer, seeing how my thoughts with regards to this. I could shoot that, but I might set off something, or it might not set off anything at all. Yeah, I'm gonna probably call it a day on this for right now. I really want to continue to play and find those rest of those collectibles, but some crazy stuff going on around. First a helicopter, then a plane, and then a lot of people talking around. And now someone's vacuuming. And can't get no peace today. I guess it's the day after 4th of July, and everybody decide they want to make a lot of noise because they still got the day off. So I'm gonna call it a day right here and continue on tomorrow when it's more peaceful and quiet.